So today, we're playing the Reaper, and we might have a bit of a rough start today. We'll kind of FALCON BLADE, and a couple of Lifestealing dragons save this run. We don't need mana generation, that's for sure. And we're pretty much at that 12 heat, so our Ruby Chunk is going to be stunning, but that Busted Blade is dealing quite a bit of damage. However, can we bring it back? But hey, check this run out, and let me know what you think of this build. Okay, let's go and jump some rank games with the Reaper and see just what we can do today. So we're starting off with the wooden sword. That's a broom which I do kind of want to grab though. So let's go ahead and grab it. Let's grab this whetstone to increase your DPS by a little bit. We could also go for Shell Totem if you do want to. It is on sale. Might actually roll though. And we could also craft up the torch instead. But I'm going to take the big old banana. I'm going to call it that for this run. A little bit of a heal, a little bit of damage mitigation, and a decent bit of damage. Now the problem is, we're going to begin the spear, which is going to be quite a lot of damage. So unfortunately, there's just no way we can compare with that as of right now. Super unfortunate, it is what it is. Now I'm going to grab this leather bag, I'm going to roll, and I'm going to continue to roll, because I do actually want to craft up a hero sword. And we're going to move on with this setup. Our DPS should be a decent bit higher with those double whetstones. However, our defenses are pretty much the same. But as long as we can stack up the blind, we should be in a pretty good spot and overall smashing. Now that is a wolf patch. Which, you know, chain up is crazy good with the Reaper. However, I'm going to be taking it and I'm going to try go for a spike staff build. So we're going to move on. I'm also going to want to grab a deck of cards to try and potentially go for some dragons. Now that's a lover's card, which would be pretty darn good too. So we're going to take it. Now I'm going to actually slide this one down just a little bit, just so we can fit in our garlic, and we are going to roll on with this setup. So overall, it's looking a lot better. We should have a good bit of flat damage with a broom, with a hero sword, and we should have a little bit of regen to make it a little bit tankier. Now the problem is, our opponent is going to be stacking with the blind on us with two brooms. They're going to have the healing with the Shell Totem. So if we have pretty bad accuracy, we're not going to be able to hit, and they're going to be able to heal back up. So honestly, this one is not looking great for us. That is for sure. Unfortunately, we're just going to fall short. Now, I do want to grab the gloves because I do want to craft up FALCON BLADE. We're going to grab this too. I'm going to roll. And I'm going to actually reserve this on Dead Filament. I'm going to roll once more. We're also going to reserve this Fanny Pack, and we're going to move on for now. Now, I would love to go for a Spike Staff into FALCON BLADE, into some Ruby Chunks. That would be an insanely awesome, fun run. However, at the current pace we're going, we're not going to make it there. That's for sure. Our DPS is just way too low. However, that is going to be straight up FALCON BLADE right now, which we are definitely going to craft up. We're also going to take this, and I'm hoping for something quite crazy. Damn it, the wilds is going to be pretty darn good. Now, I do want to roll once more. And we are going to want to take this Hunger Blade because we could potentially get a Mana Thirst going too. But for now, we're going to have to move on, and we are going to be crafting up that FALCON BLADE. This should be pretty good. But the problem is, our DPS is still going to be super low. Now, with the Amulet of the Wilds, we do stack up a little bit of spikes, which should be fantastic. However, is it actually going to be enough? Because our opponent is going to be stacking that life with that cheese. We're also going to have that healing with the Shell Totem, so we might actually be a little bit too far behind. In all honesty. It might be too late to catch up. And we're down to our final life already, which is going to be pretty bad. So we're going to take the Hunger Blade. We're going to take the blueberries. We're going to roll. We're going to set our garlic, and we're going to roll once more. The problem is, we're super far behind, and I would love to craft up a Ruby Chunk. But we're so far behind that I think if we actually try to go for it, then we could end up losing. Just flat out losing the run, even with this FALCON BLADE and Hunger Blade. We do have the Vampiressen, we do have that spikes. Yeah, we're not doing crazy damage, so we could end up actually losing. Now the thing is, I do actually want that eye lamp pretty badly. But I'm going to grab the ruby egg. We're going to want the eye lamp, we're going to reserve this leather bag. And we're taking a big risk right now. By taking the dragon's egg, we spent a lot of gold on 4 heat and reflecting 3 debuff. Now, it's actually not going to be too bad going to begin this setup because they're going to try to inflict that blind. And we're going to resist those blind. So honestly, kind of worked out in our favor. And now we get to choose our subclass. Now at this point, if we did have our staff, I was going to go for the cauldron, because that would have been a lot of mana generation. However, our setup right now is actually leaning more towards Nocturnal Lock Lifter, because that is going to give us the biggest power spike right now. So unfortunately, we're going to have to take this Nocturnal Lock Lifter. We're also going to want to take this leather bag, and we're also going to want to take the eye lamp. And I do want to roll once more. Now that's another eye lamp, that's another leather bag. We're going to be taking both, and we're going to be moving on. Now, is this going to be enough? We do have scaling damage on our Falcon Blade, and we should have a ton of lifesteal. So this should be pretty good overall. And so far, not looking too bad. This Berserker is putting up quite a fight though, but overall smashing. And now we get our dragon, which is going to be pretty darn good too. I'm going to slot in this position. I'm going to take that eye lamp. We're going to slot this in here, and we're going to be taking this leather bag. Now we do want to roll, and we could take good old Toad if we do want to. But we're not going to. We're going to move on. We still have a broom in just to try to craft up this staff, but I think it's a little bit too late for that build. No mana orb means we're not going to be able to craft it. However, it's still not looking too bad with our setup, with all that lifesteal, and that's a prismatic orb, which is straight up craziness in itself. It's also cheese for stacking life. Now, stacking life with lifesteal does sound insanely powerful. So I'm actually going to grab the cheese. I'm going to grab this leather bag, and we're going to call it there for now. So stacking life as we heal back up does sound pretty darn good. So that's exactly what I wanted to do. However, Dark Lantern is going to be flicking out blinds, and if we are blinded, we actually can't heal. But it's a good thing we do have those eye lamps to keep our accuracy up. So overall, smashing. Now that's another dragon, which I'm actually going to be super greedy and I'm going to take. I'm going to roll. That's a White Eyes Dragon. I think it's time we have to say goodbye to a broom, because we're going to be crafting up that White Eyes Dragon. As much as I'd like to get ruby chunks, I think it's going to be worth grabbing this Ice Dragon. Now we're going to want this leather bag, but we're going to move on, and we'll see how this goes for now. Because with Ice Dragon, we're going to be inflicting frost, which is going to decrease our opponent's actual attack speed. Our opponent is going to have a lot more healing efficiency since they have more vampiric items. So this could be problematic. However, we will have a lot more scaling damage. That's for sure. Even though they're scaling up a lot of vampirism, we should be able to outpace them. Potentially. I say should, but they actually have 21 vampirism. We do have battle rage, so we do take a lot less damage. So overall, smashing. And we also scale up our life. So overall, fantastic. And that's more cheese. Should we grab it? Potentially, but first of all, let's grab our leather bag. Let's actually go ahead and grab the cheese, because the cheese is also going to give us a random bonus. Now I'm going to roll, and we do want to grab this leather bag, that's for sure. And we could get more eye lamps for even more scaling damage. I think I'm going to leave off the eye lamp, and I'm going to just grab this leather bag. And we're going to move on. Now, we could have actually grabbed that pineapple, because we will be scaling up a lot of spikes. With our Amber Wilds, we're going to be dealing a lot more damage with our spikes. But overall, this should be pretty good. Our opponent is going to be resisting some debuffs. So it is going to take a little bit to start stacking up that colds. However, overall, we're going to be dealing quite a bit of damage. And we're going to get a big upgrade right now with a ruby orb. Let's grab this, let's go ahead and roll. And we definitely want to grab this bloody amulet. And with that, our setup is going to be more like this for right now. It doesn't mean we don't get our scaling damage on a ruby orb from a relic case, but that should be totally fine, because we should get a lot of lifesteal with all our dragons. Now I am prioritizing having our wolf badge in this position, targeting our ice dragon along with our falcon blade and with our eye lamp. So overall, this should be awesome, and we're going to be moving on with this setup. Now this is looking quite scary, because our opponent is going to have a lot of damage with that staff fire. However, they're not going to have too much defenses, so we should be able to out-survive him and out-sustain him, and overall just smash him down. Which is not too bad. No, there's that mana orb. It's a little bit too late. I don't even want to go for mana thirst. So I'm going to leave it. I'm going to take the stamina stack. I'm going to roll. We could take this undead Philomena. I'm going to gamble. Amulet life is amazing. That's going to give us increased healing efficiency. I'm going to roll. And we could take this hard container for scaling vampirism. However, I'm more interested in trying to find another dragon. And awesome, we are definitely going to want all these for sure. Unfortunately, I think we're going to sell our stamina stack, because I do actually really want to craft a brew chunk this round. because we're still only at 2 lives. It is a bit of a waste of gold, but it is what it is. I still want to grab another ruby egg because I do want to go for triple dragons. And we're going to move on. Now, once we get ruby chunk in, we should be in a hell of a lot of a better spot. But this opponent is looking quite scary with King Guberts, the Unsettling Presence, Bloodthorn. They're going to be dealing quite a bit of damage. And actually, we're not going to be able to keep up with that, which is super unfortunate. However, now that we have ruby chunk, we should be in a much better spot. We're going to have to buy back the Stamina Sack that we did lose, unfortunately though. And we're going to grab a dragon egg. Now we're also going to grab this by color so we have a little bit longer in battle rage. I'm going to roll once and we're going to preserve this Hollow Fire Lizard. And we're going to move on. We did take out our blueberries. We don't exactly need it in. We don't need a mana generation, that's for sure. And we're pretty much at that 12 heat. So our ruby chunk is going to be stunning, but that Busted Blade is dealing quite a bit of damage. However, can we bring it back? So far, that was way too close for comfort. It all of a sudden looked like we were going to be getting smashed there. That is for sure. Now, we do want to check our DPS. Our DPS right now is only 43 DPS, which is not crazy insane. However, we did go up again, Berserker, with a lot of damage mitigation between the Dragon Scale Armors, the Duffel Bag, and the Badger Rune. So our DPS right now isn't actually as true value as it is here. Now our heals will also be a lot higher. However, I think we are going to continue on and we're going to try. Since we have another dragon egg, I do want to try our best to get it going. I'm going to take our Hollow Fire Lizard. I do want to roll. That is another eye lamp, which would kind of be awesome too. However, I'm going to continue to roll. We could get a second Ice Dragon if we want to. Let's keep going for now. We could take the Protective Little Purse. However, we could take Prismatic Orb, which we do actually want to take because that does count as a vampiric item. We probably should have taken the early one that we did have. Now, this could be problematic because our opponent is going to be stacking up that blind on us. So our accuracy is going to be relatively low. And with relatively low accuracy, we're not going to be healing. But with 2 eye lamps in, our Falcon Blade could potentially do the heavy lifting. Because our opponent's overall defenses is not really too insane. However, that is a lot of blinds, which could be problematic. However, we do have 100% accuracy on our Falcon Blade, so we should be in a pretty good spot. We should be able to sustain long enough to out-survive opponents. That is for sure. And it's going to be quite close. But smash it. When I say quite close, we're at half HP. We're over half HP. But smashing. And even with our accuracy down, our Falcon Blade did a majority of the work. But that's because the vast majority of our items had super low accuracy. But if we did have our accuracy, we would be dealing quite a lot more damage. And we would be dealing a lot more heals. But awesome. We still managed to outpace our opponent, which is crazy, crazy good. Now with that, we're going to have a ruby chunk, which we're going to be crafting up into a ruby chunk, which should be fantastic. Now we do also want to grab this prismatic orb. That is for sure. We're also going to want to roll it, and that's another dragon, which I do really, really want to grab, because 4 dragons is straight up craziness for sure. Now unfortunately, we're going to have to move our eye lamp out from our Falcon Blade, which I'm a little bit hesitant to do anyway. But it does mean we're going to get another dragon for that lifesteal. Now if another opponent is stacking up a lot more blinds, we could be in a lot of trouble, but honestly, increasing another weapon's accuracy might actually be the play too. And we're going to prioritize the Hunger Blade, which should be awesome because we're going to get that Vampirism. Because Vampirism works with our melee weapons, not with our ranged weapons, which are dragons. However, we still get that lifesteal from our dragons with a Nocturnal Lock Lifter. However, I'm going to roll, and we are probably going to want this Bloody Amulet in final rounds. Now next round, we're going to be getting 15 golds, so we can afford the cheese and the Bloody Amulet. So that's exactly what I'm going to grab. And we're going to move on. And we'll see how this goes for now. Now, opponent is going to try burst us down with their weapons, and they're doing quite a good job at it. And unfortunately, it's exactly what they did. So they managed to proc quite a lot of Empower, basically from the Heart of Darkness, giving them 4 Empower. And then with their potions, giving them an extra 2 Empower. While also having their Meg Clover, giving them an extra 4. And they also stole 1 of our Empower, which was straight up insane for sure. We are sustained builds. They definitely punished us, but with 2 ruby chunks, we should be in a pretty darn good spot. Now we're going to be grabbing this bloody amulet. We're also going to be grabbing this cheese, and that is our full builds. Let's roll once more, and that's all we can really do for now. But honestly, this build was a ton of fun. Definitely didn't expect it to go this way. Into Nocturnal Lock Lifter with a bunch of dragons. I was really hoping to try out the spike staff. What it is. And this is going to be our final setup with our prismatic orb in this position, giving us a tiny bit more vampirism. With our Nocturnal Lock Lifter being the center of our builds, with our dragons, our Hunger Blade, and our Falcon Blade in beside it too. And also stacking up cheese so we stack up our max life, which does sound pretty darn good. And let's go and see, is this actually going to be enough, or is it going to fall short? We'll have to see. Now we are going to begin Excalibur builds, which is going to be removing our buffs. Which is going to be problematic because we don't exactly stack up a crazy amount of buffs. However, we are going to be inflicting a little bit of debuffs. They're also going to be stealing our buffs with a Heart of Darkness, so this could be problematic. However, we do still have that lifesteal. We do have that scaling damage on our Falcon Blade with our eye lamps. So we should be in a pretty good spot. Now our opponent is turbo stacking their life. But we're also turbo stacking our life. So whose build is going to win out? We'll just have to see. Our life is starting to slowly whittle down. Their life is still scaling up, which could be super problematic. We do have Battle Rage for a lot of damage mitigation. And actually, as long as our Battle Rage continues on, we should be in a pretty good spot. But once our Battle Rage ends, we're going to be taking a lot of damage. Awesome. We actually managed to outpace Excalibur, which is absurd. For sure. Look at how much buffs they stacked up. 132 spikes, 146 in power, or 146 heats, 41 in power, 42 vampirism, 62 regen. Holy moly, that was insane. Their Excalibur was dealing 174 DPS, which is straight up crazy. A 32-second fight where we managed to deal 5,400 damage with 166 DPS. The Falcon Blade doing the majority of it, then the Hunger Blade, then our dragons. Overall, awesome. And I just want to see just how much healing we did. 4,220 healing. And we stacked up 430 life. Now let's check our opponent's healing. 3,330 life. However, they stacked over 1,600 life. Which is straight up craziness for sure. But hey, what a final fight. Taking on Excalibur. Double Amethyst of Feasting. Burning Banner to be removing our buffs. And they stacked up so much buffs. But overall, this build turned out to be a ton of fun. Stacking a bunch of dragons with Nocturnal Lock Lifter is pretty darn good. But anyways, we do have 1 life left. How much rank points did we get? Plus 8 ranks up a decent amount. Almost nice, but still decent. But anyways, I'm going to leave it here for now. Just want to say thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, or even consider subscribing. And I hope you can look out for the next one. See you next time.